Hey everyone, it's Twist65, and today we're going to look at building a flat background building for the Inglenook shelf layout. The kit we're building is from modelbuilding.org, kit number N568, Industrial Warehouse. Link in the description. I used 110-pound white paper to print mine out on. The tools you'll need to finish the project are fresh blade for the hobby knife, readers for my old eyes, scissors, and a steel ruler. Building starts with cutting out the parts, of which there are only two for this building, the building itself and the roof. I started with the roof as it's simply a rectangle with some cutouts. It's pre-scaled for N-scale railroads, but I will admit finished, it looks a little large for scale. May have to reduce the printout on the printer and redo the build, which is nice because most of the time is drying time, not actually building time. While the instructions say to use a sharp hobby knife, I find it easier to start with a good pair of scissors and leave the fine blade work for the hobby knife. Still, a fresh blade is key. Be aware, there are some fine indicator marks and tabs on the printout. The marks help you align the ruler for scoring, which is just a super light running of the blade across the printed surface. You also want to score between the print and the tab line. There are times that a clear plastic triangle is also helpful. It gives you a square cut and allows you to see the print under the edge. Then you can cut away any of the bits that are still not needed that may include indicators or reference lines. On to the main structure. It's pretty much the same idea as the roof, but I chose to cut out the roll-up doors and windows to give them some depth. This is where the clear triangles really help, as it helps find the edge of the parts to cut out, as you'll still need that part once you complete the build. I traced the basic shape of the building and the cutouts onto the 3mm thick piece of foam board. This was a save from an old picture frame backer, so it was thinner than what you might find at a craft store and perfect for this project. I cut it in several light passes with a box cutter. No need to dull a couple of expensive hobby knife blades for this work. This time around, I chose to use foam board for the main structure, cardstock for the windows and roll-up doors, as well as the sides, and some balsa wood for the roof. In hindsight, I may have gone with a double layer of cardstock for the windows and doors to fit a little flusher. I did pre-fold all the folds before gluing the print to the backer. The glue I used was Elmer's Craft Bond. You can pick this up at any craft store. Look in the paper craft section. The glue is designed to bond quickly and not bleed through to the printed paper side. The bottle it comes in also has two ends, with different applicators on the tips. One tip is for making drops like a standard dropper glue bottle, and the other side has a little rubber nib that spreads the drops out very evenly and quickly. After getting the print in place, I made sure there were no trapped air bubbles or wrinkles, and then held everything in place with clothespins. The windows and the roll-up doors were glued to cardstock. Two layers were used to push the pieces forward into the foam openings, with an oversized backer used to hold everything in place. I used my 1-2-3 jigs as weights to keep everything flat while the glue dried. For the roof, I used some scrap balsa. It would provide a warp-free, stiff, rigid, and printable surface. After the glue dried, the underside was painted flat black, as were the cutouts in the foam for the windows and doors. Doors and windows are glued into position after the black paint has dried. The sides of the building were cut from scraps of cardstock, with the folded paper glued to the cardstock, then the cardstock superglued to the foam. Those pesky 1-2-3 blocks were once again used to hold everything flat and square while the glue dried. And here's the building freestanding. I chose to varnish after building, which may have been a mistake as well. Live and learn. I like the way it looks, and it breaks up the flat background. Keep an eye out for this structure and others in the background of upcoming Inglenook puzzles. If you found this video helpful or just mildly entertaining, please consider a like and a subscribe. It really does help feed the algorithm.